Hello dear friends. In this session we are going to understand how to handle a form in React JS application. So here the basic React application is added in Visual Studio Code and the output of this application is displayed like this. So this is the basic structure of your React app, and we generally write the code in app.js. So inside this app.js, so some predefined code is already there, as you know. So I'm going to delete this predefined code, and I'm also delete this attribute. So inside this div and end div, I'm going to write one heading, and title to this heading is square of a given number. Then I'm going to write one HR. Before that, I'm going to write form and end form, and inside it I'm going to create one input box for getting input as a number. And after that I have to create one button. So for creating button, I'm going to write like this, and the value that for this button I'm going to write is calculate the square, and the result obtained after calculation I'm going to write here inside one variable. I want to display the result of the square before this square. So for that I'm going to create one variable inside this function. So like this, constant number and set number, and I'm going to use a predefined React.js library called useState, and I'm assigning the value 0 to this number variable. Similar to that, I'm going to create one more variable called answer, and I'm set the value to this answer variable. I'm going to write the set answer function, and the default value that I'm going to set to this variable is also 0. Then in this input box, the first input box that we have created, I'm going to set the value to this input box as number, and I want to set the value, whatever the value that is entered by user in this text box, to this number variable. So for that I'm going to handle the on change event of this text box, and in front of it I'm going to write uh, e, then e dot target dot value. So this is the method that we can use to get the value which is entered by user into this text box, and I'm going to set this value to this number variable. So for setting the value to this number variable, I have created the use state as set number. So I'm writing here set number into bracket this, and I want to convert this value as integer. So for that I'm going to write like this, parse int integer dot e dot target dot value. So this particular line will assign the value which is entered by user into this text box to this number variable. Now when I click on this button, what I have to do is I have to call one function, and this will calculate the square of given number and will set the value of the square in front of this. Here I want to set the answer. Whatever the answer will be calculated here, I am going to set the value of the answer variable. So to calculate the square of this number, so I am going to handle the on click event for this button input tag, and then I'm going to write here calculate square. So this is the function will be called when user click on this button. So I'm going to write this function here, constant. The name of the function is this, and then I'm going to write the arrow function here. So inside this function I'm going to set the answer variable by simply calculating the number into number. So whatever the value which is there in number will be multiplied with the number, and this value will be assigned to this answer variable. And after the answer variable is set, the value of this answer variable will automatically displayed here. Now let's test this application whether it's working properly or not. So I'm going to test it. So here is the output. So when I enter the 6 and when I click on this calculate, we'll get the square of this number here. When I click on this calculate square button, whatever the number you added here, and when you click on this, so output will be displayed like this. So in this way we can handle the default form in React.js. So I hope you